Hello everyone, welcome back to another review. The game we're reviewing today is Titanfall 2. So, I've been wanting to play this game for a while now, since I'm a big fan of Apex Legends. Been playing the game for on and off for years now, and I've heard nothing but good things about Titanfall, so I've always wanted to play it. Fortunately, I've only gone around to it now, which is something you've probably heard me say in other reviews, but you know, I do tend to procrastinate playing games that I do want to play for some reason. I don't know. It is just something I do, I guess. But I'm here now, having played the game, and I'm ready to give you guys my thoughts. So we're not going to be doing a spoiler-free, spoiler-full division this time around, as I usually do in my reviews, because for one, I just don't really feel like it. And for two, this game is 10 years old, and it seems like everyone in the world has already played it except for me. So, yeah, if you're one of those rare people who haven't played the game and you don't want spoilers, then I'm really sorry, but I'm gonna be going all in on the spoilers in this review. So yeah, uh, that's just a little disclaimer for you. We're gonna be dividing the review into the four parts concerning gameplay, visual story, and soundtrack, which I always do. And yeah, let's just get into it. So, the gameplay, just what everyone in the world's been praising. Does it live up to the hype? Yeah, I'd say. The gameplay in this game is just. Oof, it's like none other. It's so fast. The movement's so, like, just feels so good to control. You can just fly around the whole map while shooting everybody. It's so good. It feels so nice to control. It's great. It's incredible. I know that uh, the gameplay in Apex was built on this game, but honestly, it feels like the other way around. This just gives you so much more freedom of movement than Apex does. Like even the most mobile Apex characters like Octane or like Axel, the new character, are not half as mobile as fucking pilot Jack Cooper over here, who's just like actually unreal. Yeah, I guess it's kind of hard to put into words how fun the movement in this game feels. It's definitely the game's strongest suit. Yeah, the guns that you have at your disposal are also all very cool. Like it was fun to like recognize them all from Apex. Uh, and there are actually a lot of guns here that aren't in Apex, which is a big shame. I really wish that something like the EPG was in Apex or the Cold War. Though those are probably my two favorite guns that are exclusive to Titanfall. It would be cool to have those in Apex. I mean, I know that it would like ruin the balancing or whatever, but come on, man. Come on, like that's not that big a deal. You could put them in the game. Come on, Respawn, please. EPG and Apex, please. Yeah, so yeah, all the guns definitely feel good to use. I do have like a complaint maybe is not the right word for it, but well, all of the full auto guns just feel exactly the same. Especially like if you have played Apex, you'll definitely notice it. And yes, I do know that this game came out before Apex, so maybe they're still kind of figuring that out. But all of the fully automatic guns are just the same. They're literally just the same weapon. They have no recoil and very similar fire rate, so it doesn't really it doesn't really there's no point to like having all of these automatic guns if they're all the same thing. You know, in Apex, every gun is sort of defined by its recoil to fire rate ratio. So they have, and in that way, they have like the guns have like more personality in Apex. And here, all of the automatic guns just do the same thing. Like, it's actually kind of cursed to see how stable the R99 is in this game, and the Volt as well, and the Flatline. They all just have zero recoil. They fire straight ahead, which, for one, that's good because you don't have to worry about the recoil. But also, it does like take away the unique personality that each gun has. Okay, well, take away is not the right word to use here because Apex was made after this game, so it doesn't. So yeah, these guns like didn't have their own personality, and then Apex introduced that element. Right now, for me it's weird to think about these games in that order because Apex is the one that I played first, and this game was completely new to me. But you know what I mean. Like all the full auto guns are just the same, which makes it kind of weird that there's so many of them when you could literally just have one gun. They all do basically the same thing. Yeah, and another thing that kind of bothers me with the guns is that there is no kill indicator in the game, and I don't know why because that's such an easy thing to implement. There's only a because when you shoot an enemy, you get the white indicator for body shots and the red indicator for headshots, but there's no indicator for kills. And sometimes, if you shoot an enemy, he'll like fall over, and you might think he's dead, but he's actually not dead, and he gets up, and he might fuck you up. So yeah, I don't know why they didn't put a kill indicator in the game. That's a really like basic thing to include, in my opinion. But it's not that big a deal. Like you still like if I had to pick something in the gameplay that actually somewhat bothered me, it would be that. Because I was never sure whether the enemies were dead or just staggered for a moment. Yeah. But it's not that big a deal. Like the game it's still extremely fun. And another thing that I do want to mention is the melee, which I think is just incredible. The melee is one of the greatest things ever. I actually cleared out multiple sections of the game with only melee. It was just so funny to run up to all these guys and just punch them dead. It didn't always work, but when it did, it was it was really fun. I love the melee. It's really funny. It's really fun. So yeah, that was all the out of mech gameplay though. Now I'm gonna move to the actual Titan gameplay, which I think is not as good. I think out of mech is significantly more fun than in mech. Now, mm, the way I feel about the mech gameplay is pretty similar to how I felt about the mech gameplay in Doom: The Dark Ages, where the gameplay is not as good as being out of mech. It's a lot slower. It feels really clunky. It's not that smooth to control. But it doesn't really matter because you're in a giant. No, sorry. Because you're in a giant mech fighting other giant mechs, and that automatically makes it cool. See what I'm saying? But yeah, I definitely didn't enjoy the mech gameplay as much as I did the out of mech gameplay. Sometimes I actually like chose not to get in the mech because it was just so much more fun to jump around as just the normal pilot without the mech. Sure, like it's not terrible. Like I said, you're in a big robot fighting other big robots. That's cool. But mm, it just didn't feel as nice as the boots on the ground, uh, out of mech, raw force of nature power of Rifle and Jack Cooper. Yeah, and one other thing that I do think was really lame was the boss fights. I'm I'm sorry to say it, but I think the boss fights were the lamest part of the whole game. You like it was cool to fight like someone like Ash or Valkyrie's dad. He was especially fun to kill because I fucking hate Valkyrie, so it was really cool to give him the business and to really fuck him up. But gameplay wise, I think all the boss fights just stuck. Fighting fighting a boss is literally just like fighting normal titans, except they have a little more health and sometimes they have unique abilities. Though not really. I so yeah, the boss fights were definitely the lamest part of the whole game, in my opinion. I didn't like them that much. They were just nah, not very climactic, not very exciting. You just another Titan on your way, except this one has a different name. That's it basically. I didn't really like the boss fights. Other than that, the gameplay is super good in the game, especially out of mech. Like holy shit, that to me is like I know Titanfall's supposed to be all about mech battles, but being out of the mech is so much better, so much more fun. I love being out of the mech. Right, so I'm looking for my notes here. That's about what I got to say on the gameplay. Let's move on to the visuals. I think they're actually really good. Like for its time, this game does have some really cool locations that you visit. And the main thing that I think makes the visuals in this game impressive is just the scale of it. Every location in the game just feels so big, so huge. Like you're on this giant battlefield, or you're on this huge ship, or these just everything just feels so big, and the big stuff is cool. So I did like the visuals, and especially the cinematic ones. Like the cinematic sequences in the game were so cool. I'll talk more about that in the story bit, but there were some really cool cinematic moments when you were like flying through the air. It was really, really cool. And yeah, one more thing that I do want to mention in the visuals are the reload animations for the guns, which some of them are extremely good. Like like Apex Legends always had my favorite reload animations ever, and some of the animations in this game have actually been remained unchanged. Mm, in Apex, like the alternator and the devotion still have the same animation that they did in Titanfall, and it's really good. But some of the other animations are kind of like stiff. Like for example, the Spitfire and the Car SMG have different animations in Titanfall, and they're a lot more like stiff. And the R301 as well. The animations are a lot more stiff mm, than in Apex. And I'm pretty sure that that's because different people made these animations. Like that's definitely what it feels like. Because if you look at the animation for the alternator, which is extremely smooth and very satisfying to watch, and then you look at the reload for the R301, or sorry, R201 in this game, then it just feels like two different people made. Like there's no way the same guy did the alternator reload animation and the R201 animation, which looks very, very stiff and just not satisfying at all to look at. So yeah, I'm glad that they polished up all those wonky reloads in Apex, because in Apex every single reload is satisfying. So maybe they just maybe they took the guy who did all the good reloads for Titanfall, and they made him redo all of the bad reloads for Apex. Because yeah, it just there's just this weird. I know that reload animations are a weird thing to talk about, but I've always had this like autistic fascination with reload animations, so that's why I'm yapping about this so much. Because it really feels like there's this weird disparity that some of the reloads are super smooth and satisfying, and others are really stiff and look like something out of a PS2 game. Yeah, so that's I had to yap about that. Sorry. Let's move on to the story, which is fine. Like it's fine. It's not complex. It's very simple. You have a few bad guys and they're doing bad things, and you're the good guy taking them out. Nothing too deep there. And yeah, the story was just fine. I do have some comments about it. So, like, the biggest problem with the story is the main character, Jack Cooper, who I think is a complete non-character. Like, he has zero personality at all. He's just this unstoppable force of nature that plows through everybody, but he's not really a character. Oh, and yeah, and what really surprised me is when the credits rolled and I saw the names of all of these crazy voice actors playing all these characters. Like fucking Jack Cooper was played by Matt Mercer, who's an extremely good voice actor, but even he wasn't able to save this guy from being a really just extremely two-dimensional. And there were a lot of other really good voice actors as well, like JB Blank playing the main villain. I think he was actually one of the better characters in the game, in my opinion. You had Liam O'Brien playing some random guy that only appeared in the game for one mission and had like 3 lines in total. So the voice actors were actually like the cast was actually really good for the game, but the characters themselves were super basic. And especially Jack Cooper. Like Jack Cooper sucks. I think he's the one of the most bland protagonists I've ever seen in a video game, like ever. Yeah, but let's move on to the things that I did like about this story, because there were a few cool moments. Like I think the second to last mission, when you and the boys are jumping through between the ships, that was awesome. That was definitely the coolest mission in the game by far, and I loved the squad that you were doing it with. They were all such. They were actually all of these guys that only appeared in the game for one single mission were much better characters than Jack Cooper. I like them a lot, and it was so fun to like actually work as a team and see how all these pilots are like coordinated. It was it was really cool. That mission was just amazing, and flying through the air after BT like froze you onto the other ship was so cool. I love that mission. I absolutely love that one. That was something else. Yeah. Another thing that I wasn't sure whether to mention in the visual part or the story part, because it kind of like interjects, is I do like how the pilot's helmet actually sometimes gives these bits of like visual storytelling. Like for example, at the very start of the game, when you have to find the batteries for BT, then you can see on the pilot's helmet that it like scans the environment to try and find these different batteries. And then near the end of the game, when BT sends you the like encrypted message, so that was really cool. I really like how the pilot's helmet and like the heads-up display that you had in the helmet on your screen actually was used sometimes as like a story device. It made the HUD feel a lot more sort of like natural, I guess, or maybe that's not the right word. It made it. Uh, I don't know. It was cool. Couldn't think of a word. Immersive, maybe. I don't know, but it was cool. Uh, yeah. So that's that. Another thing that I did, that I did like, and I'm not sure if this is canon because I know nothing about the lore of this universe besides what is uh, explicitly given to you in this game, I guess. When they were building in the part where you're talking to Ash, there are like building uh, these houses and overall these like little maps. So I really hope that that's like the origin of Apex Legends, and that these guys were building these like arenas for people to fight in, and that's where the Apex games come from. I really hope that that's the actual lore, because if so, then that's really cool. Like for someone who's played Apex, that was really cool to see, like the maps getting kind of artificially built that way. That was really cool. I like that a lot. And yeah, and unfortunately, I'm gonna have to make another complaint here. This is the last one, I promise, but I think the ending to the story was handled kind of like from the moment that BT and Cooper get captured, and the bad guys threatening to kill Cooper. Like from there on, it kind of went really just kind of wacky and felt, I don't know, weird, because like it didn't really make much sense, because why didn't the why didn't the evil British girl just kill them? Like she shot BT a little in the stomach and it hurt him, but he was fine. And then he gave his face to Cooper and he was able to restore him that way. Like, I feel like as a Titan pilot, that British girl should have absolutely known that was a possibility, right? Like that the core of the Titan is kept like in its face. Like, why didn't she shoot BT in the head then? She should have that knowledge. She's a Titan pilot. She should know that the head is the most important piece of the machine. That destroying the head would destroy the core and just erase the Titan, right? And by extension, why didn't she just kill Cooper? Because he was lying on the floor right next to BT. She could have just killed him and it would have been over. That really didn't make much sense to me. And also, uh, when at the very end, when BT dies, there was kind of, I don't know, like it didn't really work for me that, like they had this whole sequence of BT dying and Cooper mm, desperately trying to save him, only for him to not die and then actually die 30 minutes later. That just kind of, I don't know how to explain, like that kind of, having that kind of emotional moment where BT is at a risk of dying, resulting in him not dying, and then him dying out of nowhere in the next 30 minutes just didn't really work for me. Like that was kind of whack, if you ask me. Yeah, I guess that's all I gotta say on the story. Oh yeah, no. One last thing that I do appreciate, so that we don't end on a negative note. I do appreciate that the story moves super fast, because this game is only 5 hours long. And normally I'd say that that's a shame because it's so short, but it actually uses this time super well. There's always something going on in this game. You're never you're never just uh you're never just standing around doing nothing. There are no like boring parts in this game. There's always something going on. There's always action. There's always something to do. The story is always like, go, go, go. We need to do this. We need to do this. Let's go. It's so it does use the time that it has really well, and I do appreciate that. All right, so that brings us to the final part of the review, which is the soundtrack. I think is good. Like the soundtrack was, I did actually notice the soundtrack at a few points. There were some epic moments when that were complemented by some good music, and yeah, overall it was a nice soundtrack. That's that. Uh, so yeah, that's it for Titanfall 2. Really enjoyed the game. It's definitely a very fun experience. And I'll see you guys for another review soon, I guess. I'll see you whenever I see you. We'll see. Yeah, whatever. Should probably end the video